What do you get when you mix fame, power, jealousy, and three of the biggest names in music history? You get a story so twisted, so deep, and so scandalous that even the most seasoned industry insiders are still whispering about it behind closed doors. Today, we're peeling back the curtain on a saga that's been brewing for nearly 2 decades. The tale of a rising R&B starlet silenced before she could shine. The calculated moves of a pop queen allegedly protecting her crown. And the unexpected girl from Barbados who disrupted it all. This is the full story of how Beyoncé may have destroyed Teairra Mari's career, all while underestimating the real threat, Rihanna. And buckle up, because what Rihanna just revealed changes everything. Let's rewind the clock. It's 2005. The music industry is on fire. Jay Z has just taken over as president of Def Jam Records, and he's looking to reshape the face of R&B. Enter Teairra Mari, a 16-year-old powerhouse singer from Detroit. Talented, photogenic, and already being groomed as the next big thing. Jay Z discovered her during an early showcase. According to interviews and multiple insiders, he was instantly captivated. She reminded people of a young Aaliyah with her blend of vocal talent and stage presence. But here's where it gets dark. Reports claim Jay Z flew Teairra to New York alone, no parents, no chaperones. At just 15 or 16, she was allegedly brought into his office at roc-a-fella headquarters, where he pressured her to sign a deal. The quote that haunts people to this day: "You can leave through the door with a deal or out the window." Yes, the 29th floor window. It sounds like a joke, but people in the room said the tension was real. This wasn't a mentoring session, this was power play. And Teairra, scared and ambitious, signed on the spot. Jay Z and Def Jam launched her with a major push: videos, top producers, radio airplay. She was being branded as the princess of the rock. All eyes were on her, and then she disappeared. At the exact same time Teairra was blowing up, a quiet newcomer entered the Def Jam building, a shy 16-year-old from Barbados named Rihanna Fenty. Rihanna's audition was modest. She sang Panda Replay and a ballad for Jay Z and L.A. Reid. She was nervous, soft-spoken, not yet the confident icon we know today. L.A. Reid later wrote in his memoir that he barely noticed her at first. His attention was fully on Teairra. In fact, the label poured more time, more money, and more energy into Teairra's launch. Rihanna was given scraps, but the game changed the moment. Beyoncé saw a private showcase of the two girls. After the performances, she allegedly turned to L.A. Reid, looked him dead in the eye, and said, "That Rihanna girl, she's a beast." Just 6 words, but in the world of industry politics, that was all it took. Suddenly Teairra's trajectory started slipping. Rihanna got a second look, the investment shifted, the buzz pivoted. And according to insiders, that moment Beyoncé's subtle endorsement was no coincidence, because around that same time, Beyoncé had just found out that Jay Z might have had something going on with Teairra Mari. Let's address the elephant in the room. There have long been rumors whispered in industry circles that Jay Z's involvement with Teairra went beyond business. Multiple reports suggest there may have been a personal or inappropriate relationship brewing, even though Teairra was barely legal at the time. Beyoncé, according to these sources, was furious, and when Beyoncé gets furious, she doesn't throw tantrums. She makes moves. The story goes that once Beyoncé suspected Jay Z's interest in Teairra, she quietly pulled strings to get Teairra sidelined. Executives started pulling support. Her rollout stalled. And just like that, her promising career was over before it began. It's the kind of quiet power Beyoncé is known for. Not loud, not messy, but devastatingly effective. But the irony: while Bey thought she was protecting her throne by eliminating Teairra, she missed the real threat, Rihanna. While Beyoncé was allegedly working behind the scenes to push Rihanna forward and push Teairra Mari out, Rihanna's own journey into the spotlight wasn't as glamorous or clean-cut as it seemed. In fact, behind all the label meetings, hit songs, and red carpets, Rihanna's entry into the music industry was quietly unsettling and alarmingly familiar to what Teairra Mari had just experienced. Let's go back to 2005. Rihanna, just 16 years old, was flown from Barbados to New York City to audition for Def Jam executives, including Jay Z, who had recently been promoted to president of the label. Her demo had made waves, and now she was getting her one shot to impress the gatekeepers of American pop culture. But what happened next is the stuff of industry legend, and not in a good way. In her now famous interview with Tyra Banks, Rihanna shared how nervous she was. She was young, starry-eyed, and completely out of her comfort zone. She had never even met a celebrity before, let alone performed in front of music moguls. She walked into Jay Z's office and was told to sing a cappella. No band, no backing track, just her voice and raw nerves. She sang Panda Replay, and then a ballad from her debut album. Jay Z watched, L.A. Reid watched, and when she was finished, Jay Z delivered a message that should have been empowering but instead felt eerily controlling. "We don't sign songs, we sign artists. And there's only 2 ways to leave this office: through the door with a deal, or through that window, and we're on the 29th floor. Pause, let that sink in." Rihanna laughed when retelling the story, but there was discomfort behind her smile. And Tyra Banks, sharp as ever, seemed to catch the underlying tone. It was clear Rihanna had been placed in a situation where she had no real choice. It gets worse. According to both Rihanna and label insiders, they didn't let her leave the building that night. She and her manager were kept inside the office for 12 hours, reportedly until nearly 3 a.m. Why? Because Jay Z and Def Jam were terrified that she might walk across the street and sign with another label. So they used pressure, they used fear, and they used urgency to lock her in emotionally and literally until she signed the paperwork at just 16 years old. Rihanna had been strong-armed into a legally binding deal with one of the most powerful men in the music business. And here's the eerie part. Jay Z had allegedly done the exact same thing to Teairra Mari just months before. Same office, same pressure tactics, same underage girl, same alleged obsession, except this time Beyoncé didn't step in to shut it down. Instead, she reportedly gave Rihanna her blessing, whether out of strategy, pity, or underestimation. No one knows for sure. Some industry sources believe Beyoncé saw Rihanna as a safe pick, someone pretty, marketable, talented, but not too threatening. After all, Rihanna had a softer image at the time. She wasn't as vocally powerful as Teairra. She wasn't a threat yet. But Beyoncé may have made a critical miscalculation, because Rihanna, beneath the accent and smile, wasn't just a cute girl with potential. She was strategic, she was hungry, and she had survivor's instincts that had been forged from growing up in a tough home with an abusive father, poverty, and instability. Rihanna wasn't just looking for fame, she was looking for freedom and music. That was her way out. Once signed, she didn't waste time. She recorded, rehearsed, and promoted like her life depended on it, because in many ways it did. The replay hit the airwaves and exploded. It was a global success, but many, including Jay Z, assumed she would be a one-hit wonder, a summer hit, passing fad. Jay Z himself admitted that he initially thought Panda Replay was bigger than she was, that the track would outshine her and define her forever. But Rihanna had other plans. Behind the scenes, she was watching, learning, and plotting her next move. She wasn't trying to be the next Beyoncé. She was planning to become the first Rihanna. And just like that, she began to grow. And with each album, each reinvention, she started stepping further and further into Beyoncé's territory. But remember, at this point, none of that was obvious. To Beyoncé, Rihanna was the safe pick, a shiny new toy to replace a threat she'd already neutralized, Teairra Mari. But as we'll see in the next act, that so-called safe pick would go on to become Beyoncé's most persistent, unspoken rival. And this rivalry was about to get ugly. Beyoncé dropped a surprise track that changed everything. Bow Down, I've Been On. This wasn't Sasha Fierce. This was something else. Don't forget it. Don't forget it. Respect that. Bow down, bitches. Fans and critics were stunned. The lyrics felt like a direct challenge to someone younger, someone threatening her dominance, and the timing perfect for a subliminal jab at Rihanna, who by then had surpassed Beyoncé in social media relevance and was starting to build her Fenty empire. Fans weren't the only ones who noticed. Rihanna responded in her own way, not with a song, but with Twitter shade so sharp it drew blood. She posted an article crowning her the Queen of Pop in the UK, and captioned it, "I only know how to be number one. I could use a challenge." Then, the dagger. How'd it feel down there on your knees? A direct hit. And Beyoncé, she never clapped back, at least, not publicly. She claimed the song was just her expressing anger and standing up for herself. But fans weren't buying it. They knew there was history. And they knew this wasn't just about music, this was personal. The drama didn't stop at words. In 2016, Rihanna was preparing to drop her highly anticipated album, ANTI, her most experimental project to date. But before the official release, the album was mysteriously leaked on Tidal, a platform owned by Jay Z and Beyoncé. It forced Rihanna to rush the release. First week sales were hurt. Momentum was lost. Meanwhile, Beyoncé was gearing up for her own rollout, Lemonade. Theories began circulating that the leak wasn't accidental, that someone possibly under Beyoncé's influence had sabotaged Rihanna to keep the spotlight clean for Lemonade. And it worked. Anti sold 124,000 in its first week. Lemonade, over 650,000. To make it worse, at the Tidal press event later that year, insiders claimed Beyoncé and Rihanna refused to speak or stand next to each other. Their teams kept them separated. The tension was so thick, it had to be choreographed. Whatever was brewing between them, it was no longer a secret. So here we are, nearly 20 years later. Teairra Mari's career was derailed before it even began. Beyoncé is still the queen of polished, controlled perfection, ruling the stage with elegance and mystery. But Rihanna, she played the long game. She became a global music icon, then built a billion-dollar empire through Fenty Beauty, Savage X Fenty, and now Baby Fenty. She broke barriers, she changed industries, and all without ever collaborating with the woman who helped launch her career, Beyoncé. One thing's clear, you can sabotage a career, but you can't stop a legacy. What do you think? Was Teairra Mari collateral damage in a much bigger game of control and power? Did Beyoncé try to stop Rihanna before she became too big to contain? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. And if you love digging into the secrets behind the spotlight, don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on those notifications. Because here at Fame Detective, we don't just follow the headlines, we investigate the ones they try to bury.